Yajurveda, Adhyaya 23, 65 verses. In the beginning rose Haranyagarbha, etc. Taken upon a base art thou, I take thee welcome to Prajapata. This is thy place, Surya, thy majesty, the majesty that has accrued to thee in the day, in a year, that majesty which has accrued in the wind, in the firmament, to that majesty of thine, to Prajapata, to the gods all hail, who by his grandeur hath become sole ruler of all the moving world that breathes and slumbers, he who is sovereign of these men and cattle. What god shall we adore with our oblation? Taken upon a base art thou, I take thee welcome to Prajapata. This is thy place, the moon, thy majesty that has accrued to thee by night, in a year thy majesty that has accrued in the earth, in Agni, in the stars, and in the moon. That majesty of thine to Prajapata, and of the gods all hail. They who stand round the hills as he moves, harness the ruddy steed. The lights are shining in the sky. On both sides to the car they yoke the two, bay coursers dear to him, bold taunting bearers of the chief. When swift as wind the horse has reached the form that Indra loves, the flood. Again, O singer, by this path bring thou our courser hitherward. Let the Vasus anoint thee with Gayatri meter, let the Rudras anoint thee with Trashtub meter, let the Adityas anoint thee with Jagati meter. Earth, ether, heaven. O gods, eat this food. Parched grains and groats, in the product of barley and in the product of cows, eat this food. Prajapata, who moveth single and alone, who is brought forth to life again. What is the remedy of cold, or what the great receptacle? The sun moves singly and alone, the moon is brought to life again. Fire is the remedy of cold, earth is the great receptacle. What was the antecedent thought? What was the bird of mighty size? The slippery matron, who was she? Who was the reddish-colored one? Heaven was the antecedent thought. The courser was the mighty bird. The slippery matron was the earth. Night was the reddish-colored one. Vayu helped thee with cooked viands. Blackneck with goats. Yagur with cups. Salamela with increase. The stallion here, good for the chariot. Let him barely come with his 4 feet. Brahma Krishna, help us. Obeisance to Agni, the car is fitted with the rain. The steed is fitted with rain. Fitted in waters. Waterborne is Brahma, following Soma's lead. Steed from thy body of thyself, sacrifice and accept thyself. Thy greatness can be gained by none but thee. No, here thou diest not, thou art not injured. Only thy fair paths to the gods thou guessed. May Savitar, the god in that world, place thee, where dwell the pious. Whether they have journeyed, Agni was the victim. With him they sacrificed. He won this world in which Agni is. This shall become thy world. This shalt thou win. Drink these waters. Vayu was the victim. With him they sacrificed. He won this world in which Vayu is. This shall become, etc. as above. Surya was the victim, etc. He won the world in which Surya is. This shall become, etc. To vital breath, hail. To outbreathing, hail. To diffuse breath, hail. Amba, Ambika, Ambalika. No one is taking me away. The sorry horse will lie beside another, as Subhadra, the dweller in Kanpira. Thee we invoke, troop, Lord of troops. Thee we invoke, the loved one's Lord. Thee, Lord of treasures, we invoke. My precious wealth now have I glorified with praise strong. Da Dikravan, conquering steed, sweet may he make our mouths, May he prolong the days we have to live. Gayatri, Trishtub, Jagati, and Pankta, with Anushtub joined. Brahati, Katkub, Ushneha, pacify thee with needle points. 2-footed, those that have 4 feet, those with 3 feet, and those with 5. Meterless with 1 meter, these pacify thee with needle points. Nay, Maha Namnis, Revatis, all far spread regions of the sky. Voices and lightnings from the cloud pacify thee with needle points. Thy married dames of human birth skillfully separate thy hair. The regions consorts of the gods pacify thee with needle points. They, made of silver, gold, and lead, are used as helpers in the work. As lines on the strong courser's skin, may they console and give thee rest. What then, as men whose fields are full of barley, reap the ripe grain, removing it in order, so bring the food of these men, bring it hither, who pay this sacred grass their spoken homage. Taken upon a base art thou, thee for Athens, thee for Sarasvati, and thee for Indra, for the excellent protector. Who flays thee? Who dissects thee? Who prepares thy limbs for sacrifice? Who is the sage that slaughters thee? In due time let the seasons, as thy slaughterers, divide thy joints, and with the splendor of the year sacrifice thee with holy rites. Let the half-months and let the months, while sacrificing, flay thy limbs. Let day and night and Marutus mend each fault in sacrificing thee. Let the divine of the Varyus flay thy body and dissect thy frame, and let the sacrificing lines prepare thy members joint by joint. May sky, earth, air, and wind supply each failing and defect of thine. May Surya, with the stars of heaven, duly prepare a world for thee. Well be it with thine upper parts, woe be it with the parts below. Woe be it with thy bones, and with thy marrow, and with all thy frame. Who moveth singly, etc. is in verse 9. The sun moves singly, etc. is in verse 10. What luster is like Surya's light? What lake is equal to the sea? What is more spacious than the earth? What thing is that which naught can meet? Brahma is luster like the sea. Heaven is a flood to match the sea. Indra is vaster than the earth. Beyond all measure is the cow. Friend of the gods, I ask for information. If thou in spirit hast attained the knowledge, hath Vishnu this whole universe pervaded in 3 steps, wherein the god is worshipped? I also am in those 3 steps of Vishnu, wherewith this universe he permeated. The earth and heaven I circle in a moment, and this heaven's summit with a single organ. What are the things which Purusha hath entered? What things have Purusha contained within him? This riddle we propound to thee, O Brahman. Why dost thou give no answer to my question? Within 5 things hath Purusha found entrance. These Purusha hath within himself connected. This is the thought which I return and answer. Thou art not my superior in wisdom. What was the antecedent thought? Etc. is in verse 11. Heaven was the antecedent thought. Etc. is in verse 12. Who, tell me, is the yellowish she? Who is the darkly yellowish? Who moves with rapid spring and bound? Who glides and winds along the path? The she-goat, sir, is yellowish. Dark yellowish is the porcupine. The hare moves swift with leap and bound. The snake creeps, winding on the path. How many different forms hath this? How many syllables? Burnt oblations, brands for kindling. Here are the rites of sacrifice, I ask thee. How many hotars in due season worship? 6-fold its form. Its syllables, 180 burnt offerings. Just 3 brands for kindling. To thee I tell the rites of sacrificing 7 hotars worship in appointed season. Who knoweth this world's central point? Who knoweth the heaven, the earth, and the wide air between them? Who knows the birthplace of the mighty Surya? Who knows the moon, whence he was generated? I know the center of the world about us. I know heaven, earth, and the wide air between them. I know the birthplace of the mighty Surya. I know the moon, whence he was generated. I ask thee of the earth's extremest limit. Where is the center of the world, I ask thee? I ask thee of the stallion's genial humor. I ask of highest heaven where speech abideth. This altar is the earth's extremest limit. This sacrifice of ours is the world's center. The soma is the stallion's genial humor. This Brahman, highest heaven, where speech abideth, that strong, the self-existent one, the first within the mighty flood, laid down the timely embryo from which Prajapata was born. Let the Hotar sacrifice to Prajapata from the Mahiman stoma. Let him accept. Let him drink the stoma. Hotar sacrifice. Prajapata, thou only comprehendest all these created forms and none besides thee. Give us our heart's desire, so when we invoke thee, so-and-so's father is this man, sire of this man is so-and-so, may we all hail, be lords of rich possession, what active highest name thou hast. O Rudra, therein thou art an offering at home, all hail. And I can't cease to point out how annoying it is, all these etceteras and I've already translated this phrase before. Here it is in some other chapter. And verses 20 to 31 were omitted. And, 19, and thee, Lord of treasures, we invoke, my precious wealth. And then 32, we have, now I've glorified with praise strong, Dikravan, and not reproducible in the semi-obscurity of a learned European language. And stanzas 30 and 31 would be unintelligible without it, well, even if it's obscure phrase. So basically he wanted to not tell you what verse 20 to 29 was saying, which makes me really curious about that. Got to look that one up, right? And okay. So going back to verse 45 and 46, who moveth singly and alone, who is brought forth to life again, what is the remedy of cold, or what the great receptacle? The sun moves singly and alone. The moon is brought to life again, fire is the remedy of cold, earth is the great receptacle. And okay, there's other et ceteras, aren't there? It is true in a way that rituals are like divine pacification, right? As much as they can do stuff for us in the fact that, as we're performing them, and they can factor into whether we get or don't get something into our lives. Sometimes just, fulfilling the requirement means that it's not against us.